Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In the last lecture, we have studied about the single valued function, analytic function and singularities of a function. So if you want to see that video, you can check it in the channel playlist, and the understanding of that lecture is very important while understanding the mapping theorem and principle of argument. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. In this lecture number 4 of Nyquist plot, we are going to study mapping theorem and principle of argument. Now let us see some important points related to mapping theorem. Mapping theorem says that if f of s be the single valued function analytic at all points in S-plane except some finite number of points, then these are singularities of function f of s where it is not analytic. The meaning of single valued function, analytic function and singularities of function we had already studied in the last class. What is the meaning of single valued function? If a function has one and only one value for each separate value of s, then that function is called as single valued function. And what is analytic function? A function is said to be analytic if for particular value of s or for some values of s the function gives finite value. And what is the singularity of function f of s? It means that the function f of s is said to be singularity of function if the function gives infinite value for some values of s or for some particular value of s. So according to this statement, if f of s be single valued function analytic at all points in S-plane except some finite number of points, then at these finite number of points the function will be singularity of function. That means it will be not analytic at those points. We will consider a arbitrary closed path tau of s in the S-plane in such a way that the function f of s is analytic at each and every point on tau of s path. That means the function f of s gives a finite value on each and every point on the tau of s path. Now this closed path should be selected in such a way that the path should pass through the points which are singularities of fs. That is, it should not pass through the poles of fs. Now let us assume that p and z are number of poles and number of zeros of f of s which are encircled by tau of s path, that is which are inside this tau of s path. Now only those poles and zeros that are encircled by this tau of s path in S-plane will be considered. We will take p is equal to number of poles of f of s encircled by tau of s path, and z will be equal to number of zeros of f of s encircled by tau of s path. Now we will see the mapping procedure. According to the mapping procedure, the closed path tau of s in the S-plane can be mapped into other plane, say f plane, to get the closed path, say tau dash s. That means in the mapping procedure, we map the S-plane with tau s path into a new plane which is called as f plane to get a new closed path, that is tau dash s. Let us assume a function f of s is equal to 10 divided by s into s plus 2. In this function we can see that zeros are absent if we look at the numerator of this function, and from the denominator of this function by equating this denominator to 0 we will get two poles, that is at s is equal to 0 and at s is equal to minus 2. That means we are getting two poles from this function f of s, but zeros are absent in this function. Now we have to select a closed path in S-plane in such a way to encircle both these poles at s is equal to 0 and at s is equal to minus 2 as shown in the figure like this. So we had considered a closed path tau of s in which both these poles are existing. That means this closed path is encircling both these poles of s is equal to 0 and s is equal to minus 2. The function f of s is analytic at all points on tau of s path selected as both the poles are encircled by this tau of s path. Now for each point on the tau of s path, there exists a separate value of s as it is single valued function. What is the meaning of single valued function? If a function has one and only one value for each separate value of s, then that function is called as single valued function. This value can be plotted in other planes, say f plane. So if we find out single value from this function f of s, then that single value can be plotted in a other plane which is called as f plane. Now let us take the example of 2 points. One of the point is s1 is equal to plus 2 and another point is s2 is equal to plus j2. Now we will put these points in this f of s equation. First at s is equal to plus 2. We will get f of s is equal to 10 divided by 2 into 2 plus 2, which is equal to 10 divided by 6. Okay, so from here we will get 1.25. So this point of 1.25 can be plotted on a complex plane, that is f plane, as 1.25 plus j0, and this point can be denoted as s1 dash, because here we have taken s1 is equal to plus 2. So if we find out the f of s value by putting this value of s in this equation, then we will mark this point as s1 dash. Now we will take another value of s which is equal to plus j2. So when we put this value of plus j2 here, we will get f of s is equal to 10 divided by j2 into j2 plus 2. And after rationalizing and simplification of the equation, we will get minus 1.25 minus j 1.25. Now we will represent this point on the new plane, that is f plane. So similarly all points on the tau of s path can be plotted in f plane by finding the value of f of s at all these points. So the mapping theorem actually related to the mapped locus of tau dash of s path in the f plane. That means in the mapping theorem we will map the new path, that is tau dash of s path, in a new plane, that is f plane. So for this we will see the statement of mapping theorem. The mapping theorem states that the mapped locus tau dash of s encircles the new origin of f plane as many times as the difference between the number of poles and zeros of fs which are encircled by tau of s path in s plane mathematically. So according to the mapping theorem, number of encirclements of origin of f plane by tau of s path is equal to z minus p. Here p is equal to number of poles of f of s encircled by tau of s path in the s plane, and z is equal to number of zeros of f of s encircled by tau of s path in the s plane. So to understand the procedure of mapping theorem and how to apply the formula of this mapping theorem, we have to take some cases which are actually examples of this mapping theorem. Now let us consider one function f of s is equal to 4 into s plus 1 divided by s into s plus 5. In this function we have 1 0, that is at s is equal to minus 1, and in this function we have two poles, that is at s is equal to 0 and at s is equal to minus 5. First case we will take p is greater than z. The meaning of this p is greater than z means let only one pole is encircled by tau of s path without any zero encircled by tau of s path in the s plane. So to understand this, we will take this figures. So in this first figure, which is representing the s plane, here we can see that only one pole at s is equal to 0 is encircled by this tau of s path, and one pole and 1 0 is outside this tau of s path, as we can see here. And that means the number of poles which are encircled by this tau s path will be greater than number of zeros which are encircled by this tau s path. Now we will take another plane which is called as F plane. This is our F plane and we are considering a path which is tau of s path in this F plane. Now we have to find out the number of encirclements of the origin of this F plane by this tau of s path. Okay, it is represented by capital N, which is equal to Z minus P according to the formula. So here in this S plane we can see that the number of poles which are encircled by this tau s path is only equal to 1, because this S is equal to minus 5 pole is outside this path, and the number of zeros which are encircled by this tau of s path in the S plane is equal to 0. So if we find out Z minus P from this equation, we will get Z is 0 and P is 1. So 0 minus 1 is equal to minus 1. So the number of encirclements of origin of F plane by this tau of S path will be minus 1. So the path direction will be in the clockwise direction because of this minus 1 answer, or because of this negative answer, the direction of this path will be in the clockwise direction. Now we will take case number 2. In the case number 2, P is smaller than Z. That means let only one zero is encircled by tau of S path without any pole encircled by tau of S path in S plane. So according to this statement, this is the diagram of the S plane. Here we can see that both the poles of S is equal to 0 and S is equal to minus 5 are not encircled by this tau of S path. Only one zero is encircled by tau of S path. So what will be the number of poles which are encircled by this tau of S path? It will be equal to 0 because no pole is existing inside this path. And what are the number of zeros encircled by this tau of S path? It will be equal to 1 because this S is equal to minus 1 0 is inside this tau of S path. Now we will find out capital N, which is equal to Z minus P. And what is this capital N? It is the number of encirclements of this origin O of the F plane by this tau of S path. Okay. Now we will put these values of Z and P here. We will get N is equal to Z is 1 and P is 0. So here we will get N is equal to plus 1. Since we are getting here positive answer, that means the direction of this path will be in the anti-clockwise direction. Now we will take case number 3. In this case number 3, P will be equal to Z. That means let only one pole and one zero is encircled by tau of S path in the S plane. So the diagram which represents this statement is like this. So in the S plane you can see that one pole of S is equal to minus 1 and one zero of S is equal to minus 5 is encircled by this tau of S path, and S is equal to 0 is not encircled by this tau of S path. That means from this diagram we can say that the number of poles which are encircled by this path is equal to 1 and number of zeros which are encircled by this path is also equal to 1. Now we have to find out the capital N, which is equal to Z minus P. Okay, what is this capital N? N is the number of encirclements of the origin of F plane by the tau of S path. Now, if we put the value of Z and P here, we will get 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so the number of encirclements of this origin F when P is equal to Z will be equal to 0. So this tau of S path will lie away from this origin as shown in the figure. Now coming back to the statement of mapping theorem again. The mapping theorem states that the mapped locus tau dash s encircles the new origin of F plane as many times as the difference between the number of poles and zeros of F of s which are encircled by tau of s path in S plane mathematically. So according to this statement, the number of encirclements of the origin of F plane by tau dash of s path will be equal to Z minus P, where Z will be the number of zeros of f of s encircled by tau of s path in S-plane, and P will be the number of poles of Fs encircled by tau of s path in the S-plane. This statement of the mapping theorem, according to which the number of encirclements of the origin of F-plane by tau dash of S path will be equal to Z minus P, is also called as principle of argument. That means the statement of mapping theorem is called as principle of argument. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.